The DMG, the vertical Game Boy with the weird one stick and the touchpad, is it really worth the asking price, especially since the one that everybody wants was marked up to the highest price? Well, we're going to look at this, take a review of this, look it over, talk about some things that's great. But short story, this is a I needed to build something quick. I needed a project. My mother-in-law was coming and I just knew that Ace was the place for me. So I went there and I'm like, no way guys, I'm not an Ace customer. I don't know how to build stuff. Anyways, Deadheads, welcome back to the channel. Or welcome to the channel for the first time, new Deadheads. Today, we're gonna take a look at this handheld, this beautiful OLED screen handheld, which has the same screen as my beloved Snowcake. Is very expensive, guys. But is it the absolute best way now to play vertical? It certainly has the power. It has Snapdragon G3X Gen 2, which we've seen in the Pocket S, and also the Evo, which has become a popular model. But the DMG, the vertical Game Boy with the weird one stick and the touchpad, is it really worth the asking price, especially since the one that everybody wants was marked up to the highest price? Well, we're going to look at this, take a review of this, look it over, talk about some things that's great. But short story, this is an amazing screen. I love the screen on this. If for any reason to buy this, it is this screen, which makes most content look pretty good with its really odd ratio of 10 to 12, which is close to 1-to-1. But it really makes 8/7 content like Super Nintendo and Genesis, and especially Game Boy, guys. Game Boy on this thing looks awesome. Now, it's ridiculous to use something this powerful to play Game Boy, but it is a gorgeous screen, and I love this. So let's unbox this thing, take a look at it, and do our review. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And please continue to leave us comments and feedback. I want to make the channel better for all of you guys. So just leave me constructive criticism and I'll look at it and see if I can make it happen. Anyways, let's launch this high-powered, high-priced vertical. Hey guys, it's me, Dead Fred. Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to take a moment and just talk about this little tiny controller. So this little thing is so cool. It has the shape, which reminds me if like someone cut off the bottom of a Miu or maybe a Powkitty V10. It's kind of just like the same bottom part there. So imagine if you just took that part of it and turned it into a tiny little pocketable Bluetooth controller, complete with shoulder buttons that last up to 8 hours on a single charge, has a lanyard, and you can take with you anywhere you go. This thing is so convenient, and you can pick one of these up on AliExpress. So I'll leave a link in the description. We want to thank our friends at AliExpress for providing this and sponsoring our channel, so make sure you check it out. Anyways, this thing is pretty awesome. Again, it is the IINE Bluetooth mini controller. Back to the show. All right, so let's get this unboxing done. Now let's talk about this box. As usual, Ayaneo has spent a lot of time on effort in making a very attractive box. The Ayaneo slide continues to be one of the most impressive boxes. Go check out our video if you've never seen it. But the DMG comes in a really nice packaging here. I like the style of it. It's really nice with the touches they've been known to do on the previous packaging. From the use of the lettering to the picture on the front to the quality of the box material, along with the insides of it. Once inside, then we have some nice little touches, including when you first open it up, you get this nice little pocket DMG cover right here that looks pretty interesting. It sort of has an outline of, again, with some inline of the unit itself. And then you have this nice little note here, this pocket DMG note right here, which kind of gives you instructions on the shoulder buttons. Guess I should put it in English. on the shoulder buttons and kind of how to change those out and what they're for, why they exist, etc., along with the extra buttons and the wires and cords that it comes with. So you also have this nice little manual inside of here that has some of your warranty cards and things like that. So all the extra goodies in here we've come to know and love. And again, then you have these extra attachments where if you want to change the color on the back of your unit, you can give it a different color and look for it. So kind of neat that they did that. Again, we saw Trimui do that with the smart brick, which was pretty awesome. I kind of like the implementation that we saw Trimui do, and kind of wish that Ayaneo had the lights like theirs did on the back of it. All in all, this is a really nice packaging. Again, you're paying a premium, so you expect a premium package, and that's exactly what we got here. But let's, now that we got this thing out, let's start talking about this handheld. Okay, so how does this thing feel in the hand? Let me say that the first thing that surprised me was just how light this thing is. It's super light, and it feels really good holding it. I was really surprised by the way that it felt. Now, loving the Ayaneo Pocket S and that being one of my favorite handhelds of all time, since this runs the same CPU and it's in the same price range, I wish they had done some of that design language with the metal and the glass. So, part of me thinks that, this is a high-end unit, but it's just plastic. And so, like the old man says, plastic. So I don't know. I'm a little disappointed in that there's no sort of metallic touches. If you look at something like the brick, like we showed earlier on the back, they have that nice little metallic back side along with, the lights. So gotta say, Ayaneo, step it up a little bit here for a premium product. I kind of wish there was some little bit of differences going. But as we test the buttons and everything on this, they feel good. The D-pad feels good. It works well. The buttons are nice and spaced out. Everything is good. The D-pad, the analog stick, the single analog stick is Hall sensor, and it feels nice like the other analog sticks. Now, the big thing here, the fact that they included this touchpad instead of a second analog stick. It's been very divisive. And I've got to say that back in the day, guys, I was never a PC gamer. Give me a mouse and a keyboard, and I could not play shooters. I was not good at it. I needed a controller. So the point I'm trying to make is you had to learn how to use a keyboard and mouse. And once you did, you got really good at it. I think the same concept applies here. You have to put a little bit of work in to learn to make this work. For me, I don't want to do it. I'd rather this just had the single stick and play games with one stick. Or if the thing just didn't have, it had two sticks. So I'm not playing any high-end Android games on this. I know a lot of you will grab this and try to play Call of Duty on it, but I just don't think that this is going to be a great experience unless you take the time to invest and learn how to use it. Now, there's cool things like using it on Nintendo DS for when you want to do touchscreen stuff or things like that, but overall, I just think that it's kind of a miss here, and it didn't turn out. I give them props for trying something, but again, I just don't think it's that great. But the other buttons are awesome from a hardware perspective. We've got nice things on the side like the RC and LC button, which make good hotkeys for different systems and emulators. I use that quite a bit, like in the PS2 emulator, to bring the menu up. So that's really nice that it has that as well. Again, we have this super beautiful screen, this OLED 3.92-inch screen, same one we've seen in the Snow Cake. We love the screen. It makes everything pop. It's vibrant. It's clear. It is beautiful, just gorgeous, has a unique resolution, a unique, aspect ratio that sets this thing apart. So from that perspective, it's really, really good. Watching media on this thing, since it's Android, is also pretty good as well. So I don't have a lot of complaints with it. Now, playing games on this is fun, especially when you play something like PlayStation 2. I've found that I like playing PlayStation 2 on this because most of the games are 4.3. 4.3 looks good. Switch, don't play Switch on this. PlayStation Portable, not going to play it on it. It's not going to look good. It's not going to play good. But GameCube, Wii, PS2, Dreamcast, those are going to look fantastic on this. And yes, it's a bit overpowered for that. But even when trying to run something like Jack 3 which we can squeeze out performance on the Pocket S. I wasn't able to get the same performance on this. I don't know if this is because of the heating inside, the cooling aspect, or whatever it. So keep that in mind, that this is still the same CPU that we have in the Pocket S and we have in the Pocket Evo, but in my testing, I didn't get the Jack 3 to run as good. That being said, this is a super expensive handheld, especially if you get the colorway you want. But I like it, guys. I gotta admit, I like this. The hype is real. It's a beautiful screen. It is light. It's well made. There's some funky things about it, like the touchpad. But again, if some developers could make use of this, some Android games, there could be some interesting use cases with this. So again, who knows? Cheers to them for looking out and trying that. The biggest criticisms I have on this are the price. Okay, the price is ridiculous. Also, the lack of a second stick, just terrible. RGB lighting limited to the one thing right there. Come on, come on. The trim, Trim Brick showed us you can do more lighting, even in weird places. So that would have been much better. And if you compare this in sizes, this thing sizes up. It's pretty similar to the Analogue Pocket. So it's right there with the Analogue Pocket in size. It kind of matches it almost exactly, which was surprising to me. And, if you put it up next to the Brick, you can see it's massive on the Brick. So anyways, let's wrap up with our final thoughts on this and give our review of it. So again, guys, I think you've known, if you've watched the channel, you probably know that the LG Wing Snowcake from Zhang is one of my favorite handhelds. This was in limited batches, hard to get a hold of, but the screen, guys, the screen is what I loved about this handheld. And now we have this screen in another device, and I think there's more coming in the future. But if you look at the look of this, the screens are both really close and identical. It looks like Ayaneo's tweaked a few things because the color saturation is just a little bit better on the Pocket DMG, but this nice aspect ratio of 31:27 again, which scales so close to 8:7 and makes that sort of data look so great on the screen. If I had to recommend this for any reason to spend the kind of amount of money on this, I don't think the retro version is worth it. I don't think the color's worth it. I don't think you're getting much out of it. The storage isn't worth it. You have an SD slot, so you can add storage there. In the memory, you don't want to play Switch on this, believe me. So 8 gigs is enough. And I just think that if you're going to buy this, buy it for the screen. It's gorgeous. It's a vertical handheld. It fits in your hand. It's lightweight. The things that I would like to see improved on it are better RGB lighting, some metal touches and glass like the Pocket S. It needs to be more premium for the price they're asking. But this is easily going to be my favorite vertical handheld. There's no doubt about it. The 406V was previously holding that title, but I let that go because I like this. This is just so much better. Again, going back to the screen and what I love most about the Snapdragon on the LG Wing. So that is it, guys. That's what I say. If you have the funds to do it, if you're going to just invest in one really awesome vertical handheld, it's worth the money, guys. But it's not perfect. It has a few things about it that I would change, but it's fun. And isn't that what this is all about, guys? Fun. Screen is gorgeous. It's lightweight, it's pocketable. They have a really nice case that they're selling with it. Go check out the case. In fact, I think that's also worth getting with it if you're going to get it in the first place. Anyways, guys, I want to hear your feedback and see what you think. Is this just way too overpriced, or you wait for a reduction in price? And, I'd like to see the base model hit around $299. I think they should be able to do that. I don't see why they can't. But if they can get it down to $300, yeah, it's going to be a real winner. For now, I think it's just priced out of range for some people. Anyways, remember to love your hugged ones and hug your loved ones, because tomorrow's never promised. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. Different out.